alignment, manifestation, synchronicity, dark night of the soul. What does it all mean? Is the woo sometimes a little too woo for you? Join me as I break it all down on Decoding the Woo Woo with Dana Sardano. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Decoding the Woo Woo. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Decoding the Woo Woo is a show that I created because I wanted to clarify some of the misconceptions of the spiritual community and break down some of the heady and esoteric concepts and really just demystify the cryptic and magical nature of the woo and remind us all that the woo is you, that we are all spiritual beings. We are all here to learn, grow, expand our souls, and to hopefully feel love and joy in the process. And I know that's what I'm doing, and I hope that you're here to do the same. So let's get started. I'm super excited about today. So today I'm going to give you the skinny on psychics and mediums and channels and Reiki healers, and we're going to get into these gifts and how not only to understand how they work, but to understand our own gifts and to hopefully expand them. Up until now, if you've been watching, the common thread among all my episodes is really about understanding that the power is in your hands. And the more that we understand what makes us tick and realigning imbalances and understanding how our beliefs shape our patterns, shape our trajectory, and get that under control and become the masters of our experience, we then begin to expand more spiritually, and our gifts begin to expand more. And we begin to understand that aspect of ourselves. And it's really, really cool. The last few episodes, we talked about frequency and vibration and perspective and awareness and manifestation. We even talked about star seeds. So it's really beginning to expand and get exciting. But again, today we're going to talk about psychics and healers and channels, etc. So let me give you just a little bit of just a brief explanation on what they are, and then we'll expand the conversation a little bit further. So remember, we talked about this way early on. Everything is energy, right? Everything we do, everything we think, everything we experience is energy. So these gifted people are just experiencing that energy in a way where they could gain more information. Now, we're doing that all the time, but this is just more on an expanded level. So psychics, they are readers of energy. They read and interpret energy. They do it through signs and symbols, feelings. Some people read auras. They see the color signature around people and they know how to decode what that color signature means. I had a friend many years ago. She saw colors her entire life, didn't realize that the rest of the world didn't. Now you could train yourself to do it. I've tried. I'm not very good at it, but she saw colors her whole life. Didn't know that other people didn't see the world in color. So she understood somebody with a purple aura meant something different about that person than somebody who had a red aura, and she learned to understand and interpret this energy and learn how to navigate her experience through that understanding. Really cool stuff. I have friends who see things. They sometimes they see outwardly, but they see within. A friend of mine, she describes it as like a projector, like inside her head, and she could close her eyes and she could see like little movies and little symbols, and she has to interpret them. Some people feel things; they just get a sense. That's psychic. And people see things that they don't always understand, and they have to learn to interpret, again, this information. So those are psychics. Mediums, which people often put together with psychics, like you always hear psychic mediums, they connect with energy from other dimensions, from other realms. They connect with people who have passed. They connect, with far ancestors. They connect with the angelic realms. They connect with beings from different dimensions, different planets, extraterrestrials. So these mediums are able to communicate and also interpret the information, because everything comes through the brain. So they feel it however they do, and then they're able to communicate to others. So and so said this, or this I heard, felt, experienced this, and pass it on. So again, it's all about understanding or reading and interpreting this energy. Then you have your Reiki healers. These are energy movers and energy manipulators. So if I see any kind of healer who is able to move and manipulate this energy, and I have blockages or I have imbalances, the healer is able to assist by manipulating and moving that energy so I could transmute it and I could ultimately release what no longer serves me. Really cool stuff, right? Then you have your channels. And we're seeing in this day and age a lot more channels. So you have two different kinds of channels. You have, again, a channel. Again, I haven't even expressed this. A channel is when you're receiving information. And again, it comes through you. You're receiving this information and you're able to express it. A trance channel is somebody who is able to put their consciousness aside and allow whatever this energy is to speak through them. You see, Abraham Hicks is a good example of a trance channel. Bashar is a good example of a trance channel. I have a couple friends who are amazing. These soul traveler cards that I'm always referring to. Anne-Marie is a trance channel. She's able to put her consciousness aside and allow whatever beings, whatever energies to speak through her. Really, really cool. I just want to refer back to the regular channel for a second. What we need to realize is we are all channels. We are all constantly receiving, and depending on the clarity of our vessel, depending on how aligned we are, depends on what comes through and how well it comes through. But we're all receiving information all the time. The books that I've written, channeled, because you get in the zone and the stuff just comes through you. The art that I've created, channeled, you get the zone and you allow this universal wisdom, this intelligence, this love energy to come through you. And that's that creative force. That's a creative energy. So really, these people that we go to for assists, these Reiki, again, any kind of energy mover, but these healers, these psychics, these mediums, these channels, they are just reading, moving, manipulating, interpreting, conveying this energy. But here's the thing, and they're awesome. I mean, again, I know quite a few people who have honed these gifts beautifully, but there's pitfalls with working with again, psychics and healers, etc. And it's important that we be aware of what they are. So firstly, when you go to a psychic and they are reading your energy, your present energy. So if I go to a psychic and the psychic is able to see, you're going to meet a guy that looks and acts like blah, blah. You're going to get a job. You're going to have a big break at something. Be careful of, going to Europe, right? And they see these things. And if we are not empowered ourselves, sometimes we need an assist. But if we don't listen to our own intuition and we don't rely on the strength of our clarity and our understanding and our alignment and all of these things, it's easy to fall into that pitfall of trusting another more so than ourselves. So a couple things that we need to know about, again, those of the spiritual arts, the psychics, the mediums, etc., is one is if they are reading the energy, they are reading the energy in the moment that could be changed with any decision I make. I used to say to people in the gallery all the time, this might be coming your way, but if you walk, all this great stuff, but if you walk through these doors and you decide to put a needle in your arm, all of that changes. And it goes the other way. If a psychic or a reader is seeing something that is not pretty, you always have the power to change it. People talk about jumping timelines. I like to refer to it as shifting your trajectory. If I'm going in this direction and the psychic sees, however they see it, 4, 5, 6 things down the road, but sees this thing, if I make a right, I'm not going to end up at that destination. So it's important that we don't put all of our eggs in the basket of this reader or of these readers, because we need to understand that we control this. All the reader is doing is giving us the potential outcome based on where we are now. So we want to change that outcome, we change what we're doing. We want that outcome, we continue doing what we're doing. And remember, they're just reading energy. So the outcome may energetically match something. So it could be something festive other than that real specific thing. And if we're moving towards that thing that's festive, the specific details of it don't matter. Make sense? So just think about that when you're receiving information from a reader. I know I've fallen into this more than once, and I get so hyper focused, but things change all the time. A reader should act as a barometer if you need a mirror to see where you are in this moment. The other thing is to understand that readers, regardless of how gifted they are, have their own perspective. They carry their own filters. Remember, their brains are decoding this energy. And whatever the energy is utilizing whatever is in the brain. So they may see the world in a way, they may interpret something, a symbol, a sign, something that they've read differently than you might have received it. So, you see people that go to psychics, they go to any kind of reader, and like, they don't want to tell them anything because they want to see what the reader could do. But this is a dance. This is a collaboration. This is working together. You don't go to a doctor and say, I'm not going to tell you my symptoms. So you say to the reader, this is, the reader will say, okay, I see this. Okay, this is what's going on. And then you can work together to help develop a better understanding. In the gallery, I had a friend who was working with another woman, and she was doing some energy moving stuff and Reiki stuff, but she also would get messages. And she was trying to help this woman reconcile these imbalances of a trauma. And she said to the woman, she saw something, and she saw a sack of potatoes, which to the reader, or to the energy worker, it meant nothing. She knew it was connected to the trauma because she felt it, but it meant nothing. So if she tried to interpret it through her own lens of perception, she might have been off. But when she brought it up to this woman said, oh my God, my family owns a potato farm, and one of my relatives abused me as a child, and that's the root of my trauma. And then the two of them together were able to really get in there and really help transmute the energy of that trauma to help this woman become realigned and rebalanced. So this woman is not healing this woman. This woman is healing herself with the assist of this woman. And that's why they have to work together. So it's really, really important to understand that this isn't, when you go to somebody who truly has the gift, because I get why people are skeptical, because there's a lot of chicanery out there. But truly, when you trust that person, it's important that you work together and to recognize that even though you're going to these people, they have their own filters. And if something doesn't resonate with you, then it's for you to step back and ask yourself, what does it mean to me? I've known people over the years that have been brilliantly gifted in certain things, brilliant clairvoyance or brilliant channels or brilliant aura readers. But in other aspects of their lives, they still are working on those things. There's still imbalances. Maybe, that's their goal in this lifetime. I've talked about this before, but I look at us as when we come to this planet as having an 18-sided die of our development. So I may be born with being really, really strong as an aura reader, a really, really good artist, a really, really strong empath, a really good business brain. Right. And these are the sides that are really, really strong. But the things I need to work on are my compassion. I need to work on my structure, my grounding in my life. I need to work on my interpersonal relationships. So I come in with those imbalances to work on. So I may be super crazy, awesome aura reader, but I need to learn how to ground myself. So if I don't have that grounding when I'm reading somebody's aura, I can't tap into that understanding to assist them. So we need to understand that we're all here. It's not a hierarchy. It's all just different sides of the die. So we go to people who have strengths that we don't have, and we assist people with our strengths. Ubuntu, right? And it's all a part of this big picture. So just because somebody has the gift again of a trans channel or the gift of an aura reader or an extreme empath does not mean that they know all things about all things. And that's why it's important that you build your strength, you empower yourself, and you develop your gifts. So it could be a dance, you can work in tandem, and it be a collaborative effort. So I beat that to death. Okay. So, how do you get the most out of your reader? Well, again, you work together. You work together and you trust your own intuition, and you don't try to test them, and you tell them, hey, I think it might be this, and it may trigger something for them. When I had the gallery, when I was running the gallery, we would get together. We called it happy hour with the intuitives. So it was like once a week, and then it turned into once a month. But we would get together and we all had different spiritual gifts. And when we got together, it became like exponential because we got to uplift each other and bounce our gifts off of one another, and the strengths that we had got greater, and the not so strengths that we had we were able to develop with one another. It's a beautiful thing. So how do you get the most out of the reader? You trust, you work together, you do the dance, and you allow your gifts to come out in the process. Um, in order to do that, you have to be aware of what your spiritual gifts are. And we talked about this in a previous episode also about the different clairs. We all have our own intuition and we all have our different senses. And as we clear out the cobwebs, right? As we bring ourselves into alignment and we gain clarity and our third eye opens and our crown opens and we allow this information, this energy to come through us, we then get to have a better sense of what our strengths are. When you are in school and you learned a certain way, that's part of what your strengths are. And your gifts, your strengths are far beyond just, oh, I learned by listening, or I was a visual learner, or I was able to create things with my hands, or I had a sensitivity where I was hypersensitive, I could feel things. It's also your level of compassion for another, your level of being able to understand somebody else's plight, your ability to bring calm, your creative ability, your ability to paint, to draw, to play music. All of these things that are your natural inclinations are where your gifts, your spiritual gifts, will be born from. So first and foremost, what are you good at? Figure out what you're good at, what you love to do, and do more of that. Recognize how you learned in school. For me, I was not solely an auditory learner. I was a visual learner, and I had to do things by kinesthetically. Like I had to create things, and I also had to be able to connect with another on an emotional level. Be able to understand, like I couldn't learn history by memorizing facts. I had to know the stories. I'm a storyteller. So of course I would connect with the stories. I am an empath. Of course I would connect with the emotions of the individual. And the more I do that, and the more I align myself, and the more I bring my imbalances back into balance, the more that part of me grows. The more my visual aspect of my gifts, the more that grows. So that's really a good thing to do for homework. Just really look at yourself and be aware of what are my greatest strengths? How did I like to learn? What do I like to do? and then practice doing more of that while you're also doing the work of bringing yourself back into balance. And every time you overcome something and bring an aspect of yourself back into balance, then and you continue to expand your gifts and tap into your gifts, they grow together. It's a beautiful thing. Trust what you're receiving. Oh my God, I would have conversations in my head all the time to see if I could connect, to see if I could connect through mediumship, to see what I could channel, to see all of that. And fortunately, I had a group of friends that were very, very gifted, and I was able to get that kind of validation. But there came a point that I had to learn to trust myself. And now I truly trust myself, and I truly trust this guidance, and I allow it to tell me what direction to go. And if I ever have a doubt, if I ever feel like I lack clarity, listen, you're going to not like this, but I meditate. And meditation looks differently for everybody. Every time I plan to do one of these shows, I don't know if you've been able to tell, but I don't do cuts. The edits are to add images and things like that. But I just sit and I talk to you for 20 to 30 minutes. Excuse me. See, no cuts, but I talk to you for 20 to 30 minutes because I just allow this information to run through me. It's the most authentic way that I know how to do this. And the reason I'm able to do this is I go for a walk in the morning and I just meditate through my walking, and I allow the information and how I want to present it. I allow it to come through me. I sometimes sit outside. I said, I close my eyes and I meditate, but I just focus on the walk and focus on the nature, and it comes through me. So you can meditate through knitting. You can meditate through cooking. You can meditate through sitting and actually meditating, through walking. But allow yourself that quiet where you're not doing, and you will see what you receive. And when you do that, that combined with doing the things that you love, combined with recognizing how you've learned in school, combined with doing the work, you will see your level of trust for yourself and your own brand of intuition will expand. And then you'll begin to meet more people like you, and then you will expand more together. And if you need an assist, you need an assist, but you have the discernment now to trust whether or not that assist is for you. It's really, really cool. Again, common thread, broken record hour, but the power is in your hands. It's really, really cool. I'm going to share something with you. You know what it is. So, my Soul Traveler cards that I created with my brilliant trans channel friend, Anne-Marie Scordy. Her messages, my images. I chose this one today. This is waiting, by the way. I painted this, I think in 2017 during Hurricane Irma. I was in my little studio on my property. The winds are coming in and I'm sitting in there painting. Going, it'll be fine. No one's blowing away. But yeah, she's one of my favorites. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Your gifts. There is nothing magical about someone's heightened level of awareness. It is merely using gifts to the fullest extent. What comes most naturally to you is your gift. Use your gifts, for a gift is not meant to be ignored. They are a part of your value, and you are indeed valuable. Blind are those who cannot see their own value. Deaf are those who do not hear the words of praise coming from their soul. Mute are those who are unable to speak highly of themselves for the weight of unworthiness. Your greatness are your gifts. Embrace them, appreciate them, and share them. Make time, make the effort. You will see the rewards. It makes sense. It makes sense how embracing what you're good at, what you love, what comes naturally to you, how embracing that and bringing that to the world while you release what no longer serves you, while you align what's out of balance. And then you align with those who are embracing their gifts. And then together you amplify yours and each other's gifts. Remember, Nobody's healing you. You are healing yourselves. But the assist of those around you who have been there in some way, shape, or form only creates a more beautiful experience for all. Remember, Ubuntu. We're all in this together. And next time, episode 12, we're going to talk about Ubuntu, unity consciousness, just a lot of the ancient beliefs and practices and how they align with modern times, what we're doing now. So I look forward to seeing you then. And if you're looking for me in the meantime, feel free to go to ubuntufishgallery.com. If you're interested in any of the books that I've written or any of my creativity, such as the cards, you can go to feedonpublishing.com. And yeah. So in the meantime, thank you for indulging me and thank you for being here. And as always, Ubuntu.